Now we got some breaking news from New York. A judge there has ruled to unconditionally discharge President-elect Donald Trump over his hush money conviction. Trump made a virtual appearance during his sentencing in the New York courtroom. Let's bring in Alan Fisher with the latest from Washington, D.C. So there's quite a lot to unpack there. Ian gave literally the headline. Talk us a little bit more about this trial and the sentence that Trump has now received.
10 days before his inauguration as the next president of the United States, Donald Trump is a convicted felon, the first US president to be one, and that comes after the trial that was held in New York about illegal payments to an adult film star, which was claimed he hid from voters and also from the authorities. Now, he has always denied responsibility, something that he again repeated when he was given the chance to address the court. He said that this was a political prosecution, and when people saw the facts of the case, then they realized that he was innocent, and that is why he won the election. He said, "I was treated very, very unfairly," and insisted that this reflected badly not just on New York, but also on the court system itself. Interesting, because he was alongside the man who he has said will be the next Deputy Attorney General of the United States. One of his defence team is put up for that position and, of course, will face Senate confirmation. The prosecution said it was important that Donald Trump was held responsible, that a report suggested that he believed he was too powerful to be prosecuted, that he was indeed above the law. The judge himself said that this was a unique and difficult case, but in the end he decided that the sentence had to be an unconditional discharge. So what does that mean? There are no conditions attached. He essentially walks free from court today, and that is regarded by many legal experts as a smart move by the judge, that he flagged this up in advance, because of course Donald Trump went to the Supreme Court of the United States to try and block any sort of hearing being held today, any sort of sentence. But the court, by a majority of 5-4, decided it could go ahead, and that was because there would essentially be no consequences. One of the prosecutors said America deserves a presidency that is not encumbered by any sort of alternative sentence. So what's likely to happen now? Well, it's almost certain that Donald Trump will appeal this as quickly as he possibly can. But essentially, when he stands on the steps of the Capitol 10 days from now, put his hands up and says that he will duly enforce the laws of the United States, he will do it as a convicted felon.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, isn't it? I mean, so this sentence, to all intents and purposes, won't have any practical bearing on his presidency, on his second term. And indeed, it's the only one of 4 criminal indictments against Trump that actually made it to trial.
And that's the thing you have to remember. There were 4 cases against him. One has essentially been abandoned but will be appealed, and hopefully, according to the prosecutors, will be given a stay so that they can revive it without prejudice in 4 years' time. The one in D.C. is effectively dead because that won't happen now. And then there is the one in Georgia about voter irregularities and the pressure he put on the authorities there, which is essentially and effectively dead because of prosecutorial misconduct. So all of those things have effectively gone away, but all aided by the fact that the Supreme Court, with a majority that was created by Donald Trump when he was in the White House the very first time, said that he had broad immunity from actions covered while he was in the White House. It was a point that was made by the prosecution that he does have this, but this was about Donald Trump, the citizen, Donald Trump, the felon, committing offences. This wasn't done while he was president, and he was trying to avoid any sort of consequence for the actions that he took, knowing that he was hiding it from the authorities and also from law enforcement.
Alan Fisher in Washington, D.C. Many thanks, Alan.